Good evening. We are live. It is a Tuesday evening, a lovely Tuesday evening where I am. The sun is shining. That can mean only one thing. I am joined by our esteemed guest and brains of the podcast, Robbie. How's it going, mate?
Well, obviously up north today, it's looking a lot better than down here because it's absolutely hammering it down.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear. Today's show is obviously going to consist of the reaction to the draft, Big Jim spending dollar bills, and Andrew Luck coming out of retirement. Clickbait, red circle, red arrows everywhere for the thumbnail. Let's get straight into it. Gets me pumped up every time that intro. I
absolutely love that intro.
Well, the wonders of the internet and what they can do for you. So was it Thursday night, the first round of the draft? I can't remember.
It seems about 60 years ago.
It does. And it seems about 60 years ago because for once, the first round of the draft was interesting for Colts fans in probably the first time in about
16.
About 10 years. And even then, that draft wasn't exciting because we knew who was taken.
It definitely was something good to wake up for.
It certainly was. So let's crack on with the first pick of the draft, which was CJ Stroud.
Yep. No, Bryce Young to the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, Bryce Young, that's it. I don't think there's any real surprise in 1 and 2 because CJ Stroud went next. The big surprise was the Texans just trading up to 3 for what wasn't a lot from what I saw, which was quite surprising. I mean, I'd be pretty annoyed if I was a Cards fan and that's all we got for the number 3 pick. What did you think?
Well, yeah, because we sat here last week, obviously talking about the Cardinals and obviously their quarterback position. It's like, well, what do they actually need? So it was very much for me, a Chris Ballard move. That was, moving out and getting a couple of extra picks. Quite strange for the Texans to be aggressive there. But when we're looking at that quarterback draft, everyone assumed Bryce Young would be next, and it was between like Stroud, Richardson, and Levis, who would kind of fall in that kind of pecking order. But for me, that was quite strange for the Texans to be aggressive. But they're that far behind the pack. I don't care who they'd have taken in this draft. They're still going to be finishing 4th.
And they have to do something right. They might as well be aggressive and go for it because they are that far behind on any sort of rebuild since was it Laramie Tunsil trade?
Yeah, that killed them, didn't it?
Yeah, and Bill O'Brien, was it the mini Kurt Angle, gave away everything. But yeah, so a little bit of excitement. Part of me was sitting there saying, please don't be petty. And draft 2 quarterbacks because part of me would have felt like doing it just to spite the division, and then trade Anthony Richardson to the NFC for mega compensation. But they weren't. They went out and got their guy. And I think the fact that our pick was in pretty much 2 minutes in to our allotted time. I don't think it really took that long. If it was longer, it didn't feel that long, which shows Chris Ballard was made up. He knew who he was taking before the draft, before he came out with a quote saying we're all lying. I feel like he had a pretty good idea months ago who he was taking.
Yeah, but they've got their board, haven't they?
Yeah,
and they'd have, it had always been a quarterback first.
It had to be.
So it's just a case of what's there. Obviously, the rest of the NFL had the same thought on will Levi's or Levis I've heard it pronounced a couple of times. So he obviously fell to the second. So obviously we got who they assume is their man. My only issue is again what we said in the last show. You can watch YouTube clips of absolutely anyone, and they can be made to look like an Andrew Luck, a Tom Brady, a John Elway, but until they're in the system, we just don't know how he's going to play. Certainly, it seems just from looking at our draft, we've definitely gone athletic. So it's going to be, yes, very excited that we're going to have a dual threat quarterback because he seems like he can throw and he seems like I can run. But if you looked at a YouTube video of me now, I'm sure I could put a 10-second clip up. Even though I actually cannot run, I'm sure we can put it together to make it look like that. So, all the signs are there. But if you look at the Colts media over the last few years, they've made lots of song and dance about Carson Wentz, about Matty Ice, about being the one. And I just want all the Colts fans just to dial it back a little bit. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves just yet.
Robert, you already know that train's gone for me, mate. 17-9. We're gone. We're going. The promised land.
I'm just trying to manage that expectation.
No, I think what I liked. I think this was, if I remember right, it was Derek Lager on Bring the Juice on their instant reaction to the draft. And I think he said somewhat along the lines, I'm paraphrasing it, but he said what he likes about this pick is it's Chris Ballard swinging for the fences. So even if this season doesn't go to plan, the guy's 20, 21, or he'll turn 21 pretty soon, I think.
Yeah.
So, if it doesn't go to plan, by the end, his rookie contract's up. It's not really a big loss.
He's only 20.
Yeah.
He's only 20.
So at least we've took a swing. Will Levis, stays picked, but we would have probably been sat here not this time next year, but the off season next year going. We need to get off this QB carousel. I would, me personally, I'd rather go out with Sammy the Slinger than draft Will Levis, because what's the point of buying steak where you got a steak in the fridge at home? That's
definitely get it now. And obviously, when people obviously evaluate, and obviously it's a game of opinions in Dave Marr's side, and from where he comes, I don't watch much college football at all.
No,
coming from a Florida Gators, that they seem to have a few good people that go through the draft, but in terms of what they did last year was pretty poor. From the research I've done, and so maybe he's not that born a winner, but hopefully he's part of the piece. Whereas now we're cap savvy now for the next 3 years if it pans out, or like the worst case scenario. So from that we should be okay.
Yeah, worst case scenario, we end up taking Arch Manning in a couple of years. And Marvin Harrison Jr. would be nice, but a boy can dream. But anyway, no, I think so. From what I've heard, like you said, I don't watch much college football at all. I only watch it if it's on the TV when I turn the TV on, sort of thing. He doesn't have a great cast around him at Florida. The other quarterbacks, CJ, Stroud, Bryson, Will, are seen as the quarterbacks with a better program around them. I know these guys crazily respect each other as well, so I doubt Anthony Richardson will come out and say he's in the worst situation of a lot, or he is the guy. But what I did like when I was watching it, and you can see it on the ticker, the quote, "There's no more Cam Jackson. It's all Anthony Richardson." What a quote. I just feel excited. We got a bit of swag at quarterback back. As much as Andrew Luckett was the guy and was the franchise, he was also very humble and very noble and very what an ideal stereo American 90s film quarterback would be.
Go back further. I'm talking 1950s.
Yeah, that sort of thing. He's a very good poster boy. What we just got a good feeling like the backfield now with Jonathan Taylor, Anthony Richardson. That's something we can all get behind.
I think if we just if we look at the pieces we've got, especially in the draft. So look, if we look at the whole draft and kind of what we took, I'm surprised how many cornerbacks we took.
Yeah,
especially taking a cornerback at a second and fifth, like that. Like Ballard. I quite like the rounds 2, 3, 4. What Ballard does, just because they tend to be pretty good.
Yeah.
From that, taking a cornerback called Juju always makes me happy.
Yeah. Brents, is it?
Juju Brents. Yeah. Juju Brents. Again, you click on YouTube, he looks really fast. He looks range. He looks good.
Yeah.
But until you put him against a quarterback and a wide receiver that can actually go full speed, he's going to get tricked. And certainly with all these, the ones that are going to be plugging the gaps now, whether it be Richardson, obviously should be starting QB, whether Brent should be starting, Josh Downs, they're going to be making rookie mistakes. But have we got enough around them to kind of limit that as such?
Yeah, I mean, with these guys, you want them to make rookie mistakes. Obviously, you don't want them to make mistakes, but you want them to make the rookie mistakes so they can learn from it and become a better QBs. What we've struggled with over the past couple of years is Carson Wentz, Matty Ice, so-called veterans making rookie mistakes. And what I like is, I feel like the O-line, who had trouble last year, has got a guy they want to protect now. You know what I mean?
Then they've got a future. They've got a future with them. Definitely when it comes to kind of building blocks.
Yeah.
So should we run through our picks very quickly?
Yeah, let's run through
from the draft. So obviously, first round, obviously Anthony Richardson, Florida. Second round at 44 was Juju Brents, Kansas State.
Mm-hmm.
Third round, and something that I actually could get quite excited about, 79th pick overall, the wide receiver Josh Downs.
Yeah.
Again, he looks quite exciting. Then we took a tackle in round 4, along with Blake Freeland from Brigham Young. Now, I do chuckle because round 4, 110th pick, defensive line. Right, I am just going to murder this. Okay, so let's get it over and done with. Okay, Abi Tonwa, Adi Baywar. And I don't know, like I've heard a few different people try and say his name, but I think it could be another one of these Bobby O down the lines where we end up just giving him a nickname because nobody knows what his name is, and he might change it 2 or 3 times. So I think we just need to find him a good nickname quite early on.
But hopefully he leaves a good enough impression so we can give him that nickname.
But again, taking a D lineman in round 4, again, that's going to add to what should be quite an experienced group now.
Yep.
Cornerback in 5th, Darius Rush. Safety, Daniel Scott. My guy, and I'm calling him my guy because we took a tight end.
Yeah.
Mate, I'd have took a tight end in round 1. Will Mallory.
Yeah.
And then took a running back round 5, Evan Hull. Defensive end, Titus Leo, round 6. Round 7, Jalen Jones, cornerback, and Jake Witt, tackle. So again, round 7s, they're to me exactly the same as the undrafted guys. They're all fighting for a place there.
Yeah, they guys you hope can fill a spot, be around. You're hoping they can be that story. Of course, you have the Tom Brady's, but realistically, you just want them to be around, learn the game, and maybe play enough snaps you can either keep them and they're good enough, or you can trade him along the line for a 3rd round pick, a 2nd round pick next year or the year after.
Yeah. Now, from what I've seen, Josh Downs has taken the number 1 jersey.
He has a big claim.
Big balls. That is absolute big balls taking that.
Yeah. Doesn't he only live like 10 minutes up the road as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt though that Paris Campbell come in did nothing. But with that, he's got a lot to prove.
Yeah. Mikey's in the chat, everyone. Mikey, as we know, is a avid fan of our show and comes in every week at least once or twice to talk to us.
What's the other team he supports, Harrison? Can you remember?
I think it's them what down the road, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Down the fighting relegation, aren't they? I think you're going to finish above them. Glad we got our guy at QB. Not expecting him to be the guy year 1, 2, and 3. Will be crusher. Yeah. Happy we got the boy rush. Yeah, I mean, nobody's expecting Anthony Richardson to be MVP, Super Bowl winner year 1, apart from me.
And Jim Irsay.
We're running out of years, Jim. On your promise, we're running out of years. Just saying. But yeah, going down the draft, I potentially would have taken a wide receiver tight end in a 2nd rather than a corner.
Yeah.
But with Stephon Gilmore going to Dallas, maybe?
Something like that, yeah. One of them.
We are pretty shallow on corner, really, looking at it. So I get it. And obviously, Ballard gets paid the millions over me. I just sit here and comment on these things. Josh Downs, I don't know much about the kid. I just know he lives 10 minutes up the road or something, and he had one of the best draft calls, phone calls ever. A lot of energy. Seems like a young kid with a chip on his shoulder, which is nice. I feel maybe he thinks he shouldn't have fell this far, which it can motivate him. But do you remember the last big wide receiver we got the last undersized wide receiver we got in the 3rd round? Ended up being a bit of a Colts legend.
T.Y. didn't. Yeah. I thought he went 2nd.
No,
you're right. No, I do trust you.
Unless I misread it, but I'm pretty sure he went because there was comparing. Obviously, T.Y. Like any player in the draft gets compared to anyone in the NFL.
Yeah, of course.
So I think it was more a relieving draft for Colts fans than an exciting draft because no one can say what's going to happen with the Colts next year, and that's actually quite nice once the pressure's off. The AFC South is a joke. It always has been a joke. So we're all probably going to end up with losing records, but it's just I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders at the end of this draft.
Well, I couldn't quite remember, so I googled.
Mm-hmm.
But no rookie quarterback has ever reached the Super Bowl. There are a number of guys who made it close: Ben Roethlisberger, Joe Flacco, Mark Gentes. But the quest of the trophy ended at the AFC and NFC championships. So, going with your 17-0, Richardson's going to be the first record-breaking quarterback to go to the Super Bowl in his rookie year and go and win it.
Yeah. I mean...
How'd you like them eggs?
Laws of averages say there's got to be one. My old man had a saying when we was playing football, or we was coming up against a team in a league above us in a cup game or something, and they've not lost in 20 games. Or I was watching Arsenal play United at Old Trafford, and we've not won there for 10 years. And he'd always say, there's always time for a first. And I think that's just the energy we've got to take into this season. Like, the Colts are just going to be exciting again. I can't remember the last time it was exciting.
It's been a long, long time.
like we've had exciting drives and exciting plays, and
Have we really?
when I say exciting, I mean the Boxing Day game against Arizona. Coming down to a Hail Mary with Philip Rivers throwing it against Buffalo. Yeah, so that how would you grade the draft? Because obviously the punditry teams love to grade drafts.
With everyone's been giving us A's, B's, really good scores, but
Yeah.
again, I don't. It's hard because we don't know what our offense is going to be.
Yeah, we just don't know.
Because we've got so many new components. Nobody knows how it's good. Like, on paper, which means absolutely nothing, it looks good. But it's a case of we've got no idea what our scheme is, how we're going to play, and so, I'd give it a B just because it looks good on paper.
Yeah. Mikey saying, I know it's not Colts related, but Philly are not messing around up front on defense, and the Lions are just the Lions are just the Lions, like just like Spurs, just Spursy. The Lions are Lionsy.
Do you know what? The Lions and Texans to me are just copy and paste. Let's rinse and repeat it. They're every year. And as for Philly, I couldn't give a flying monkeys about them because we won't be seeing them until the playoffs.
Until the Super Bowl? What a story that would be.
Imagine that. But yeah, from the draft, my guy is Will Mallory. He is going to be starting by week 2. He is going to be catching. He is going to be blocking. He is going to be a superstar. You've heard it here first.
Okay, so my guy is Josh Downs. I mean, obviously, we know what Anthony Richardson is. I don't really know enough about any of the other picks from college to stake a claim, but just from Vibes FC, Josh Downs is my guy. I like his attitude, to be honest.
So just I'm a big aesthetic guy. There's so obviously we know Richardson's taken 5.
Yeah.
Which in today's not to go political or anything like that, having AR5 on a shirt in America right now probably not ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Cornerback taking 29 stinks. Josh Downs taking number 1. Again, big balls, big balls. But again, my guy Will Mallory 86. That's going to look absolute stunning. Jack Doyle-esque. I'll just, he is going to get MVP. I am all on board. Let's order that new jersey now.
Yeah, get it ordered. Just like I ordered a Dante Moncrief jersey and thought that was going to be a thing.
To be fair, mate, Feed Moncrief was a thing.
It was, wasn't it? Concrete Moncrief. But no, so yeah, I'm with you on the sort of B plus draft because the realism is about this. The experts, the pundits, the everyone's, the us. We just don't know what the Colts are going to be next year. We just don't. For once in our lifetimes of supporting the Colts, we don't know what they're going to be. So do you think that plays a bit more of an advantage to the Colts when it comes to the season time?
It's one of them, isn't it? It's either going to play into our hands and, the first 4 weeks we're going to get off to a good start because nobody knows our style, or it's going to be a case of we're still bed again.
Yeah.
But where we've got a bit of an advantage, it seems like we've got a quarterback now who can run. So when the play breaks down, he can get out of the pocket, which, Jacoby Brissett was supposed to be our running quarterback. When you see him, again, I cannot run because I'm physically disabled. I could run faster than what he can.
I can't run just because I'm unfit, Robbie, so... But what surprised me most is how big Anthony Richardson actually is and how athletic he is. Because because randomly I was watching the combine live, and he was doing his 40-yard dash, and I didn't realise who I was watching, and I just went, "Oh, that's pretty good for a running back." Just in my head. And
6'4", 244 pounds apparently.
That's massive. Like,
with
that's
a 4.43 40-yard. But like, I don't think the 40-yard. We've said this before about the comment. For me, 40-yard dash means absolutely nothing.
No.
How often will you see anyone run 40 yards? Yes, you're going to get wide receivers running routes, but that's not straight. Very rarely. But so for me, that first 10 yards for me is everything.
Mm-hmm.
He had a 1.53 second 10-yard split. Like, that is, being able to get 10 yards in 1.53 seconds
is impressive.
That's first down. It's first down material.
And that's not from a running start. Like,
so look, and bear in mind, your offensive line should be giving you 3 yards.
Yeah, and 3 seconds
like minimum. So it's. Yes, it is exciting. I'm very much
record for the vertical jump and the broad jump as well for quarterbacks or something like that.
40.5 inch vertical jump, which is just over a meter, and a broad jump of 3.28 meters. That is athletic. Like my hamstrings are twinging just thinking about it.
Mate, I'm more on the Jurgen Klopp, where I pull my hamstring celebrating. So,
oh no, that dickhead was going up against the fourth fish already. But that, like, if we look at that in terms of the draft, it looks good, and obviously we're all excited, and I think that leads us quite nicely onto the schedule.
Yeah.
Do you want a quick rundown of who and where?
Yeah, go on. I did have it up before, but I panicked.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Did you say you panicked?
Yeah, I panicked because I thought I was getting a phone call.
Right, so about becoming Jim Irsay's number 2.
Yeah, it was Chris saying we've got a spot at a QB opening up if you fancy it. I said, Chris, I retired a long time ago, mate. He said, I know, but I just thought you might fancy it.
Right, so we've got the Texans, Jaguars, Titans at home.
Yeah.
And then our other home fixtures will be the Browns, Steelers, Saints, Buccaneers, Raiders, and Rams. And then our away will also be Texans, Jaguars, Titans. And then we've got away to Falcons, Ravens, Panthers, Bengals, and Patriots. So again, we've got a couple of rookie quarterbacks that we're playing in there for DeForest Buckner to absolutely eat up. And obviously, it says it's 8 p.m. Indianapolis time is the schedule release.
So I'll be fast asleep.
Yeah, so it'll be the middle of the night, and I shan't be getting up for that.
No.
But again, on paper, again, Steelers aren't there anymore. Browns aren't. The Browns will always be the Browns. Saints, a bit of a shambles at the moment. Buccaneers, they're on rebuild mode. Raiders, again, all over the shop. So there's plenty to go at home next year.
Yeah, a mixed match schedule as well. It's not too hard of a schedule, you would say, on the easier schedule thing. Everyone super computes, and it's just I don't buy into. But it's a good schedule for a rookie QB to field his options and see how he's getting on.
I get very, very excited when it comes to the schedule in terms of, right, what's the first game, what's the last game, what's the Christmas Day game, and what games we got on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
they're the ones for me that I always and then once you've done that, then you sit through, right, how many Sunday 6 p.m. games we got, how many Monday night, how many Thursday night, right, how many nights might going to be missing of sleep. It's just a bit of fun, but apparently we won't be getting any. The rumours, we're not going to be getting any Thursday night games because not every team's going to get a Thursday night game this season, and apparently because we're not a big market, we won't be getting a Thursday night, which makes me happy.
I could not care less.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's one less middle of the night for us.
Yeah.
You know, and I like the Sunday at 6 p.m. because it keeps me, you know, I know where I am and what I'm doing. Yeah.
I had a nice cup of tea and just snuggle into
You know,
the dress.
and I'm in bed by 9:35.
Beautiful.
Yeah, like these are the things that get me excited.
Yeah, for me, it's because I don't know if it's just because of like the football soccer managers I look over here and who I look up to, sort of thing. I'm a one game at a time person, and I don't care who that game is. It's just that game.
I don't care who we're playing. It's just those dates for me. They're like right because it was pretty good a couple of years ago. We played. It was Christmas Eve night.
Yeah.
So it was wicked, you know. And so like, you know, the kids were in bed, chilling out before a big day. You know, peeling them some carrots and potatoes for the next day. You know, Thanksgiving's pretty good because we get football from mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
And then first and last games, obviously, you know, it's good to see who you're starting and finishing with.
Yeah. So before we wrap up with the Jim Irsay and the Hull Commanders thing, a little segue question for you, improv on the spot. What type of coach would you be? Would you be a Mike Bassett? And for those who don't know, Mike Bassett absolutely goes off his nut. Sort of, for anyone from America watching this, you're thinking Mike Bassett, Al Pacino on a given Sunday is the sort of vibes. Are you a Arsene Wenger, you know, maybe have a smoke and a glass of wine for 10 minutes, let the players stew and then give your speech? Are you a Sir Alex Ferguson launching hairdryers at people? Like, okay, so you're Shane Steichen. We've obviously got to the Super Bowl, 17-0.
Yeah.
We are 10 points down. Anthony Richardson's losing his head because he's panicking. How do you get the boys back on track?
Right. I've got a quick story for you. So I help out with my daughter's football team, Luton Town Ladies under 12s.
Big ugly girls.
Now, absolute massive. So I'm very much defensive minded. So for me, it's all about structure. So it's for that age group, it's talking the girls through the defensive shape and talking through the game. However, some of them were getting quite irate on Saturday because the other team were kicking them, pulling them, pushing them, and the referee weren't kind of giving much. And whenever our girls kind of went in for a tackle, they were given a free kick away. Yeah. So at half time, it was a great teaching moment. Like, you know, life is always going to try and kick you down. You know, life isn't always going to be fair. It's not always rainbows and roses. You know, there's always going to be people that try and put you down for a reason. You know, it's how we react to that, and it's how we can turn that negative into a positive, and you know, work together better as a team. And you know, you can see from that. Then second half we were much better, and then obviously then you reinforce that in the second half, like at the end of the game. However, that's under 12 girls football. If we are talking the elite sport, you know, it is, you know, and if Ritson's going off on the clock, right, this is what we've done through training, this is what we've done through the season, what can we control our controllables, and how can we go from there? And then go up to my mate Will Mallory, who's got a couple of touchdowns already, you know, just give him a hug and just embrace him and say, look, we love you. I'm very much more of a wrap my arms around, unless someone's if someone's just defying what you've asked them to do, because for me team sports is all about the message from the coach and, you know, having that structure. I'm more than happy to dig people out.
Yeah,
I do quite enjoy that. But yeah, first and foremost, you know, it's about the positive reinforcements.
Yeah, I like it. You know,
how about yourself?
I would like to think I was a calm guy. I'd like to think I'd be angrily motivational, and that is very contradictory because it's proven shouting at people doesn't work. It's literally scientifically proven. As soon as you start shouting at someone, they shut off. But especially in this situation, this very specific situation, what's clearly going to happen, I'd just resort to look, you've got it, just enjoy your football. Everything you've done doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whatever you've done, it doesn't matter. Just forget the situation you're in. Just enjoy your football. That's all I want the Colts to do this year is enjoy their football. I feel like the Colts have not enjoyed their football well, you can tell we've not enjoyed our football because look at the offensive line. Look at
we haven't enjoyed watching it.
No, and I think even Frank Reich to a point can admit it wasn't enjoyable. I'm not going to get started on Frank Reich and his winning record and why the Colts are wrong for getting rid of him. But if the enjoyment's not there, there's a famous story about Sam Allardyce when he took over Blackburn, and he basically gave his credit card to the captain that was on like the team pre-season tour in Dubai or something. Give his credit card to the team captain and went, right, you lads go and enjoy yourself. I'm going to bed. As long as you're on the training pitch by 8 a.m.
Yeah,
I don't care. And the captain sort of said everyone wanted to run through a wall for him then. And I think with Frank Reich, there wasn't that sort of like
too vanilla, mate. But
anyway, I got distracted. I'd be an Al Pacino. I've got to give that motivational speech. Don't know what it would be, but
they do not work. Motivational speeches are just for Hollywood, mate.
And that's why they call me Hollywood Harrison.
Right, Hollywood Harrison. Talk to me about Jimmy Irsay because you were telling me about his £1 million he wants to give away.
Yeah, well, it was breaking news about a week ago, but he's given away $1 million.
I've had my head up my arse for the last 2 weeks.
Giving away $1 million to someone, one lucky winner who can guess the exact schedule, including bye week, for the Indianapolis Colts this year, which proves once again he is the greatest owner, and he is not his father in the NFL. I know Jimmy Irsay gets a lot of stick for his demons in the past, but for me, he's trying to put it right. And I even like where this franchise is going eventually when he goes to a nursing home and chills out with some of the older players. Maybe
where's it going?
James
to St. Louis.
Yeah, like I think I like the direction the Colts are going with the Irsay family in general. I think it's Kaylee Irsay or something like that, who's potentially taking over. And also he is making it very, very clear to anyone around the NFL that you even so much whisper to Andrew Luck on one of his fishing trips, you're getting sued to the high heavens for give us a draft pick. We will have them first round picks.
Old Andy Luck. When is he going to be able to just fade off and never be spoken about again? Because I'm at the point where my heart no longer beats for him. When I hear his name, there's no flutter in my stomach. There's no butterflies flying around at the thought of the romanticism of him coming back.
It's sort of like, is it Return of the Jedi? When old Ben Skywalker, Ben Kenobi, is like, I know that name once, but now I am just an old man in a cave.
Yeah,
it's the biggest what if story ever. Let's be honest. But yeah, I think that's all we have. Well, that's all I have for today's show because it's the off season. I saw a 10-second clip of Anthony Richardson throwing to Josh Downs on a slant route, but
as I say every single year, let's not look at them stupid clips. Let's not look at pre-season. Let's wait. If you're someone that's played America, even high school kids, you can get a quarterback thrown to a wide receiver that looks elite. Let's just pump them brakes a little bit on what the media team are putting out, because the media teams still need to sell tickets. They still need to sell jerseys. They still need to sell merchandise. So let's just chill, relax, and let's just enjoy the off season. You know, we've got a couple of months. Was it May? So we've got June, July. You know, we've got just over 3 months.
Mm-hmm. We've not been able to enjoy the off season for a long time. Let's just enjoy it.
And I'm not going to be watching, like, obviously, yes, I will be watching the clips. Yes, I will be carried away, but I've got to continuously remind me, you, the world, the nation, just calm down a little bit.
You'll be carried away as soon as you see one of them Will Mallory clips.
Now we're talking. Now, as soon as we see him just touching the ball, you know, flexing the guns, we're there.
Yeah. Robbie, thanks for
Mikey,
joining.
You're a star.
Yeah. And I'm just going to end this broadcast on one last thing. When, in a year's time, we are Super Bowl champions, Anthony Richardson's MVP, Will Mallory's Offensive Player of the Year, Josh Downs' Rookie of the Year, we'll look back on this podcast as the motivational speech for the Indianapolis Colts.
Right, we're going to have to do that as a pre-season. We've both got to write like a 2-minute motivational nonsense.
Excellent. Love it.
All right, bud.
See you all in 2 weeks' time.
See you later, bud. Bye-bye.
Bye.